Okay, well, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to work on the pistons and the cylinders. We're going to size the rings. I've already cleaned both cylinders out with alcohol a couple times and then put a really light coat of oil on the cylinders. So when we size the piston ring gap, they'll slide in a little bit easier and maybe you won't scratch the cylinder walls. So let's take a look at the manual first, because the Wiseco pistons have different ring gap settings than the Harley pistons, although they fall in the same tolerance. So let's take a look at the service manual and then we'll figure out the ring gap according to Wiseco's directions. Okay, so if we look at the manual, we can see that the ring gap is between 10 and 20 thousandths. Okay, so now according to Wiseco, if you look down here, top ring bore times 0.0040. So we know the starting bore before the cylinders were bored out to 60 over is if we look right here, 3.438. So we take 3.438, multiply that point by the amount a bore was taken out, which is 60 over, to 0.060, and we come out to a bore of 3.498. Now you could probably get a little bit more accurate if you had a bore scope or whatever. I don't have one of those, so I think this is probably just about as accurate as you're going to get. So if we take 3.498, which is for the top ring, multiply that by 0.0040, we come up with a top ring of 13.992 gap. So we round that up, so we have a 14 thousandths gap in the top ring. We take the second ring, the bore, which is 3.498 again, multiply that by 0.0050, and we come out with a 17.49 thousandths gap. So that one we round down because we're not at the halfway point, so we can do a 17 thousandths for the bottom gap for the second ring, 14 thousandths for the top ring. You always want to have the second ring a wider gap than the top ring. So we know we got both, and the oil rings on the bottom, they don't really make any difference at all. You can have those anyway. So let's go over to the cylinders and we'll start measuring some of these rings. And I've got my cutter around here somewhere. I got to look at it. So we'll if we have to cut some of the rings. So let's go over the cylinders and we'll take a look. Okay, so I kind of flipped the motor around because this is the way it's going to go in the bike. I've already put a clip in one side of the piston because I want to work from this side. Let me show you again. So because I want to work from this side of the bike, that's going to give me more room. So I've already put a clip in one side over here, because I actually got this cool little tool in to put the C-clips in, and it just goes right in. You don't have to screw with it at all. So, and on the Wiseco pistons, the arrow goes to the exhaust because the intake is on the inside. So you see this port here, this relief for the intake valve is bigger than the exhaust valve, so that goes on the inside. The arrow always points to the exhaust. So, and I've got the clip on this side so I can work on the correct side when I'm putting the second clip in. So, all right, so let's take a look at the rings. We've got the rings over here. You can see they're all laid out. They lay them out for you. You move this back over to the cylinder. Now, this top ring is not marked. Usually it's the top ring that's marked and the bottom ring isn't. So this top ring is not the one that's marked, but it does. I don't think this one has a bevel. No, this one doesn't have a bevel, and it's not marked, so it can go either way. The second ring is marked. You can see that says top right there, and this one does have a bevel on it. So the bevel always goes down. I don't know how well the bevel is going to show up on that, but the bevel goes down. So this is the second ring. You can see how they mark them in the packages, 1, 2, and then the oil scrapers down here. So, all right, so let's take this top one and we'll set this in. And then we're going to take this piston, just so it's even. And we're going to, actually that needs to come up a little bit. All right, so we can set this in so it's going to be even in there, so we can see what the gap is. So the gap, if you can see it right here, let me get a light. So if we look at the gap that's right there, and we'll see what that is. Let me find something here. We'll try 10 thousandths first. So 10 thousandths does not want to go in. All right, we'll take one more turn and then we'll try that. All right, so that seems good. So 14 thousandths is good for that one. So we're going to put that in. So now we get to do this one at okay, so 14 thousandths. Let me get this in here. So we did 14 thousandths, and that goes in nice. Okay, so we're all set with that. So now we have the second ring. So the second ring we need 17 thousandths, and that's not even close to that. So we got to take some off of this. All right, so I had 14 thousandths for the other one. I need 17 for this one. So we got 13, 15. We need 17 on this one. That's not even close still. So you can see, again, how it's wearing down because it's shiny there. So we'll put this in here. Okay, that fits in there. Whoops. It's still a little tight, but it fits in there, but I can feel it. I'm going to do one more turn on this, just to... That gap fits in there. So that's 17 thousandths right there. So sizing of this one is done. I'm not going to do another one because it's basically the same thing. So we'll pick this up when I'm going to go do the other one off camera, and then we'll pick this up and we'll put the rings in, and then we'll put the pistons on the rods. Okay, so both cylinders, piston rings have been sized to both cylinders. 14 for the top, 17 thousandths for the bottom, and this little thing here, right here, this little machine right here works fairly well. You get an extra disc, a sanding disc with it, but it cuts pretty well. Takes a little bit to do it, but you only do a little bit at a time anyway. So okay, so we'll do the front cylinder. These don't matter which way they go, up or down or whatever. And then we'll put the so this has an end, so you see this has to go kind of like that. You can't overlap it. Doesn't really matter which way it goes, I don't think, whether it's up or down. I don't think it matters. But all right, so there's the bottom ring. Now we have the top ring. We still have to set all the gaps in the correct direction, correct orientation. I mean, not direction, but we'll do that later before we put the cylinders on. Oops, that's in the middle one. I don't want that. Didn't want to go in there for a minute. Okay, so now we got the scrapers, the oil ring in there. So now we have number 2, which if you look at this, this says top on it. So we'll put that. Well, that didn't work out too well. All right, so we got the second one in. And we got the top one. This one does not matter. There's no bevel on it. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's no bevel on it, so it doesn't really matter which way this goes. There's no up or down to it. And then we got that on. Okay. So let's get these in. So we want it to go this way, right? Yeah, so that goes in there like that. Let me get some assembly lube. Did I get the right one? This one. You want it this a little smaller. It comes in 4 different adapters. So you want one that's a little smaller than that. So I'm going to move the motor a little bit so you can see how this works. And you get 2 different adapters like this. The piston's curved on that one, so we're going to use that one. Like that, maybe. So this goes in there. Okay, so in editing this video, it was clear that you couldn't actually see me using these tools because I was in the way. So, which is this. You get a full skirt adapter, which is this one for the pistons. And then you get this short skirt adapter, which is what we're going to be using today. So what you do is you take this, here's the tool itself. So you take this and put this on the tool. This goes on the opposite side of the pin you're pulling or the pin that you're going to push. You can see how it's curved. It fits right in there, right here. They give you 4 adapters for the pistons. What does it say on here? It will do, fits all piston pins from 13 millimeters to 24 millimeters. So you fit this adapter to whatever one you're going to use. And you can see these have a tapered end. So we're going to use this one. You don't want to, you want to go inside the outside diameter of this. So this one fits good. I don't think this one's going to fit. This one might. This kind of is the same diameter as the pin though. So you want one that's smaller than the pin. So we're going to use this one. So you take this and you put this right up against the piston like this. So you screw this into the piston like that until it's tight. And then you get a wrench. I'm going to do it this way because I'm right-handed. So then you do a wrench and you just tighten this up. Because it's going to be easier because it's in the piston as it is. So you can see it's in the piston pin. The wrist pin is already in. We take this clip here and we put this in there like that. You got to kind of hold this when you do it, or it tends to want to spring back. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Getting ready to put the motor back in the bike. I got to make some adjustments to the bike, move some straps around. I'm going to wait and put the cylinders on this once it's in the bike, because I don't know if I can lift this with the cylinders in it, and I don't want to take a chance on dropping it. So I'll just make sure that I wrap these pistons up really well so they don't slap around. Same thing with the rods, and we'll move it over to the bike. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.